Okay, greetings all. Welcome to Chapter 2 on elementary programming. There's lots of slides and lots of material, so let's just get right to it. Last chapter you learned just the very basics, how to set up a Java program. This chapter you'll write some simple programs. It's fun, I think you'll like it. We'll look at basic Java concepts, such as primitive data types, variables, constants, operators, expressions, input and output. So a lot of material here. Many objectives. You can read these, but let me just hit a couple of the highlights here. For input and output with the console, you'll use the scanner class. What do we mean by the console? Let me show you real fast. So here, this is Windows 10, but it's the same in just about every version of Windows. You've got a command prompt here. If I want to run a program and read from the keyboard here, I'll use a Java object called a scanner. So that's a key thing this week. Some other things, basic types. Byte is an 8-bit type, as short as a 16, and it is a 32. A 32-bit integer, as long as a 64-bit integer. A float is a 32-bit floating point number, a number with a radix point, a decimal point, and a double is a 64-bit number. We'll look a little bit, notice here math.pow, we'll look at some of Java's built-in library functions. So a large number of objectives here, a lot of material. There's lots of examples in your book. So listing 2.1, this is the area of a circle. And these slides are out on Blackboard for you. This is pretty cool. You can actually go to the author's website and do a little animation and see these programs run. It's better, quite frankly, I prefer if you did them yourself. Run them yourself. You have all the code. So here is the code for this computeArea, example. So what have we got here? So we've got a class called computeArea, a public class called computeArea must be represented in a file called computearea.java. Must be spelled exactly the same way here. Uppercase C, lowercase o, m, p, u, t, e, uppercase a, etc. What is the scope of our class? Let me move the video over here. This class exists between this curly brace right here and this curly brace right here. Everything else is contained in this class. Here is our main method. As we said last week, all standalone Java programs have a main method. This is your program entry point. And here are some variables. Here's some data. So there's a local variable, local to the main method. The variable's name is radius. Its type is double. So it's a 64-bit floating point type, a number with a decimal point in it. And we have the same type here, double, but we have a different variable, a different memory area, a different memory location named area. And notice also what your author has done. As we step through this, he's got these nice little graphics that show what happens to these memory locations. So let's step through. We go here. Boom. We've got this additional variable called area. Now we're going to give one of our variables, the variable called radius, we're going to give it a value of 20. And we're going to compute the radius. We're going to compute the area of a circle. What's the area? And area is pi times r squared. So r times r pi. Now, this is not the only way to do this in the Java programming language. There's other ways to do it, but this works fine. Here's the r squared, radius times radius. The star operator is your multiplication operator. Also note, every statement is terminated with a semicolon. Here we've got a print statement, so this will print to the console, to your command window, system.out.println. The area for the circle of radius is area. So what will happen here when this actually prints? It'll print, so here inside the quotes, that's called a literal. What does that mean? It means literally whatever is between the quotes will be printed. Then appended, or this plus operator it's not an addition operator, it's a concatenation operator. So it'll concatenate, if you will, the value of radius. What was that? It was 20. And here it'll concatenate the value of area, which was 1,256.636. Here in between radius and area is another one of these string literals. So the whole thing will print. I think you can figure it out. The area for the circle of radius 20 is 1,256.636. You should compile and run these programs yourself. It really is the best way to learn.